In order to make these classes as freely accessible to our participants as possible, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you've moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you are participating in a yoga class or class that involves lying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice and care as needed. William & Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the healthcare advice of your provider before participating. Okay, we're gonna get started in child's pose. As always, I have the chat up on the side, so if you can't hear me, please type it in the chat. And just bring your big toes together, knees wide, melting your chest down towards your mat. Relaxing your forehead down, spreading your fingertips wide. Releasing your shoulders away from your ears. Just letting your day melt away. You're probably almost done with classes for the day or already done, and it's a spring break day tomorrow, so you're just fully relax here. Really feeling that breath expanding your belly on your inhales and contracting on your exhales. Imagine any tension just leaving your head and going into your mat. Then walking both hands over towards the right side of your mat, pressing your left hand on top of your right hand, stretching out that side body here. Then coming back to center, going over towards the left, pressing your right hand on top of your left hand. Coming back to center, and then just bringing your left arm underneath towards the right side. So it's like thread the needle, but in child's pose. That right arm can stay exactly where it was, just straight out in front of you. Coming back to center and switching sides, that left arm, your right arm goes towards the left. You can look towards the left if you want. Coming back to center, and then just interlace your fingers behind your neck, bending your elbows, just getting a slight stretch in our triceps here. You can also just bring your hands together in a prayer position. Releasing your arms out long, and then coming up to tabletop with your knees right underneath your hips and your shoulders right above your wrists. Really pull your core up and in, engaging your core 360 degrees around. Then start to drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, looking up a little bit for cow. And exhale into cat, looking towards your thighs and arching your back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Coming back to that neutral spine, extending your right arm and your left leg out, then bringing your arm and your leg out to a diagonal line, engaging your obliques here. Coming back to center, then back to that diagonal line. Just moving really nice and slow here, starting to warm up your core. Start balancing. This is also warming up your shoulder. Let's take one more of these. Placing that hand and knee down, moving straight to the other side. Left arm, right leg, coming to that diagonal line, then coming back to center. moving at your own pace with your own breath, trying to keep your core and your back completely still. Just your arm and your leg are moving. Let's take one more. Placing that hand and knee down, we're going to cross our ankles, come back to a seat, sitting up nice and tall. You can close your eyes if you would like to. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. You can also extend that left arm out to the side to get a little more of a stretch in your neck. Coming back up to center, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Maybe extend your right arm if you would like to. Coming back up to center, look down towards your lap, and then interlace your fingers behind your head, very, very gently, putting a little more pressure on your head to feel that stretch more. On an inhale, opening your elbows to the side, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, curl down. Good. Inhale, expand everything, elbows open, gaze up. Exhale, elbows in, rounding your spine. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to that neutral spine, inhale your arms out and up. Exhale through heart center and down. Again, inhale up and exhale down. Last time, inhale, pause at the top, then twist to either side, bringing your hand across your thigh. Coming back up to center and twist to the other side, warming up our spine. Coming back to center with your arms up, then fold forward over your crossed legs. You can rock side to side, warming up your hips and your back here. Walking back up to center, taking some wrist circles here. Then go the other way. Then placing your hands down with your fingertips facing in towards your body and your palms facing down to the ground. You can kind of rock side to side a little bit. Then flipping your hands over so your fingertips are still facing towards you, but this time your palms are up towards the sky. You can rock side to side. Coming back up to center, just shake your wrists out. And take some shoulder rolls towards the front of the room. Then go to the back of the room. Then coming back to tabletop when you're ready, tucking your toes under and pressing back to downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet here. You can move your hips from side to side. Just move however feels comfortable to you. And then inhale up to your tippy toes and exhale your heels down. Good. Inhale up, exhale lower. Last time, inhale and exhale, really feeling that stretch in the back of your legs. Looking forward towards your hands, start to walk your feet up to a forward fold. Just hanging out here, relaxing in your fold. You can bend your knees a lot, however much you would like. You can grab onto opposite elbows and sway side to side. You can nod your head yes and no. Releasing any tension from your spine and your neck. And starting to release that bind. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Good. One vertebrae at a time, slowly coming up to standing. Your head is the last thing to come up. Inhale your arms out and up. Then exhale, tipping over towards the right, bringing your hand down to your leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, tip over towards the left. Inhale up to center. Bringing your hands to your lower back. Slightly press on your back to take a little mini back bend. Then coming back up to center. Bringing your hands to heart center and closing your eyes here. Feeling your feet connected to the mat. Feeling a little micro bend in your knees. Pulling your core up and in. Rolling your shoulders back. Relaxing your face. And notice the difference in your body between now and when we started class just a few minutes ago. Thank yourself for making this difference. Staying here for one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. Start to open your eyes and then inhale your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank, holding here nice and strong. You can always put your knees down on the ground. Really pressing out of the ground with your hands, pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb. Pulling that core in, noticing how strong you are. You're much stronger than you think. We're going to stay here for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing your knees to the ground, and then slowly release your body all the way to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, whatever feels better to you. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg up towards the sky for three-legged dog. Then bend your knee and open up your hip, feeling that stretch in your hip flexor. Squeeze your knee to your nose for cheetah pose. Then inhale, extend that leg up and back. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Good, inhale, extend. Exhale to your left elbow. Then inhale up. Last time, stepping it through in between your hands, coming to runner's lunge. So your back knee is lifted off the ground. You can still have your hands on the ground. You can rock back and forth a little bit. Then bring your hands up to your thigh. You can always put that back knee down, coming to low lunge if you would like to. We're all going to go there in a second. Then releasing your back knee down, keeping your right arm on your right leg. Extend your left arm up and over, intensifying that stretch in your hip flexor. Feeling it more on your side body as well. Then bring both hands down to the ground and press back to half splits. Straightening your front leg, flexing your front foot towards your face, making sure that that back hip is right over your back knee. Try to lengthen your spine a little bit, maybe fold a little deeper over that leg. Inhale, come forward to low lunge. Exhale back, half splits. Good, inhale forward. Exhale back. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Pausing here, planting that left hand. Inhale your right arm up for a twist. Bringing your hand back down, coming back forward to that low lunge, and coming back into that twist. So that right arm is up. Then tuck your back toes under, coming off your back knee. And we're going to step back to side plank, bringing that right foot back to meet your left foot. Don't fall like I just did. Pressing your hips up towards the sky. Then coming back to plank And pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend your knee and open up your hip, really pressing your chest back towards your thigh. Then exhale, knee to nose, cheetah pose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Good, inhale, extend. Exhale to your right elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, stepping it through to runner's lunge, pausing with your hands down first, feeling that stretch, trying to lengthen your spine, rolling your shoulders back. Then you can bring your hands up to your thigh. Then bringing that back knee down to the ground, keeping your left arm on your left leg. Extend your right arm up and over. Bringing your hands down to the ground, pressing back to half splits. Feeling the difference in this leg compared to the other one. Again, trying to lengthen your spine on your inhales and fold just maybe a millimeter further on your exhales. Squaring your hips by pulling that left hip back, pushing that right hip forward. And then inhale forward to low lunge. Exhale back to half splits. Good, inhale forward. Exhale back. Last time, inhale. And exhale, pausing here, planting your right hand this time. Inhale your left arm up. Bringing your hand back down, coming back forward to low lunge. Coming back into your twist with your left hand up. Tucking your back toes, lifting your back knee. And then stepping back to side plank. Even if it takes you like 15 steps, you can do it. Bringing that left foot back to your right foot. Pressing your hips up to the sky. Then coming back to plank and pressing back to downward facing dog. Inhale up to your tippy toes. Exhale your heels down. Walk your feet to the width of the mat, then walk your hands back about 4 inches. We're going to bring our left hand anywhere on our right leg. I like to grab onto my ankle, so if that's comfortable to you, you can try that. Then look under your right arm for a twist. Releasing that and coming back to center, bringing that right hand to your left leg, looking under your left shoulder. Coming back to center, coming back to that normal downward facing dog, then walking forward to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Good, inhale, reverse swan dive, bring your arms all the way out and up. And exhale, forward fold once again. Bending your knees a lot, and then bringing your hands all the way underneath your feet. Your palms are facing up, and your toes go all the way to your wrist creases. This is called gorilla pose. You can straighten or bend your knees as much as you want. Nodding your head yes and no. This is a really good stretch for your lower back, your hamstrings, and also your wrist. Releasing that when you're ready, maybe straightening your legs a little bit more, and then using your peace fingers, so your pointer finger and your middle finger, to hold on to your big toes. Lengthen your spine, and then fold forward over your legs, bringing your elbows out to the side and bending your knees however much you want. This is really good for decompressing your lower vertebrae because you're pulling yourself away while also in that forward fold. Releasing that, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank and pressing back to downward facing dog. Stepping that right foot forward in between your hands, coming up to high crescent lunge. So it's like low lunge, but your back knee is off the ground and your arms are up. On an inhale, lengthen your arms and your legs. And on an exhale, bring your arms to like goalpost arms and bend your knees. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend everything. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Let's do 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, up. Exhale, this time bring your back knee very gently to the ground with nice slow control. Bring your hands to heart center and twist towards the right, bringing your left arm across your right thigh. Pressing your hands to heart center to twist yourself deeper. And then releasing your hands down inside of your front foot, coming into lizard. First, just pausing here and feeling this stretch. Try to hug your right knee into your arm. And then if you would like to, you can start flexing that right foot and letting your knee come out to the side. Then you can come down to your forearms. This helps get more into your outer hip. When you're ready, pressing back up onto your hands, and then reaching back behind you with that right arm. Either stay here in a twist, or you can bend that back knee and try to grab onto your foot if that feels comfortable to you. Really good stretch for your left thigh. Releasing that bind, bring your hands on either side of your front foot, tucking your back toes under, pressing back to plank, and then downward facing dog. And do the same thing on the second side. So stepping that left foot forward, coming up to high crescent lunge. Try to tuck your tailbone underneath you, even if it means bending that back knee. On an inhale, lengthen your arms and legs. On an exhale, come to that bend in your lunge. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, up. Exhale, bend. Last time, inhale. Exhale, very gently releasing that knee, bringing your hands to heart center and twisting towards the left this time. Trying to come forward on that back leg so that your back leg is at a diagonal line instead of your knee and your hip being in one straight vertical line. Releasing your hands down on the inside of your front foot, coming into lizard, hugging that knee in towards your body to start. And then if you would like to, you can flex that left foot, bring your knee out to the side, and maybe come down onto your forearms. Then coming back up onto your hands, coming into that twist, bring your left hand behind you, and then maybe bending your back knee, grabbing onto your foot, if that feels good to you. Releasing that foot back down, kind of forget what we did from here. We're going to tuck our back toes under, coming back to plank, and pressing back to downward facing dog, pedaling out your feet here. Coming down to child's pose, this time with your knees together and your arms behind you. Letting your lower back release. Having your palms up helps release any tension in your forearms and your wrists. When you're ready, coming back up to tabletop, and then leaving your hips and your knees exactly where they are, we're going to walk our hands forward and release our forehead down to the ground for happy puppy. I know I say this every time, but this is such a good pose for releasing tension in your shoulders and your spine, and also for releasing anxiety. So I really like to include it. Taking those nice deep breaths. Imagine your belly is like a balloon. You're blowing it up with your inhales, letting that air out on your exhales. When you're ready, start to walk your hands back into that tabletop. Tuck your toes under, come back to that downward facing dog, pausing here for one breath in, one deep breath out. We're going to inhale forward to plank. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do about 5 of those. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. This helps engage all the muscles of your core, as well as increasing spinal mobility. Try to imagine your back is like a snake. So you're like arching forward, and then when you go back, you're leading with your tailbone, and then coming back to that flat spine. Let's do one more of these. And then when you're ready, coming forward to plank and bringing our knees down to the ground. Then we're going to bring our forearms down to the ground. And we're going to do some plank hip dips. So we're going to touch our right hip, like imagine you're touching the ground, you're not actually touching the ground. Coming back up to center and then going over towards the left. And come up to center, go over towards the other side. When you get to center, try to make sure your butt is a little raised up in the air instead of in one flat line like in plank, because that's better for your lower back. You can also do these on your toes. I just think that's kind of like a form of torture, but if you like it, go for it. Let's do 3 more to each side. Good, last one. Pausing at the top and then just releasing down to the ground. You can put your head on your hands, windshield wiper your feet behind you to release tension in your lower back. Releasing your legs behind you, pressing up to upward facing dog, back to downward facing dog. Looking through your hands, walking your feet forward to a seat. Extending your legs out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall. And then folding forward over your legs. You can bring your hands next to your legs, or you can reach for your toes, trying to keep some length in your spine. Good, coming up to center, we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. You can do this facing that way, or come to like the long way on your mat. Making sure that your feet are flexed and like going towards the back of the room so your knees aren't caving in. You always want to protect your knee joints. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, either stay right there or you can fold a little bit forward if that feels good to you. Really stretching our inner thighs. Walking your hands over towards the right, maybe holding onto your right foot. Then bringing your right forearm inside of your right thigh. Extend your left arm up towards the sky. You can also reach over and reach for your toe, or you can just keep that arm straight up towards the sky. Coming back to center and walking over towards the left. And then bringing that left forearm inside of your left thigh, extending your right arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe reaching over, grabbing towards your toe, or staying up with your shoulders very open. Coming up to center, helping your knees together, and then bringing your feet together, knees wide for butterfly. Lengthening your spine, staying here or start to fold forward. Another stretch for your inner thighs. It stretches a slightly different part of them than that wide-legged forward folded. Coming back up to center, extend your feet a little bit away from you. So now you have a diamond in between your legs. Lengthen your spine, and then you can round your head towards your feet. You should feel that stretch on your outer hips. Coming back up to center, and then just sitting crisscross applesauce. We're going to stretch out our shoulders a little bit. So reaching behind you, like stretching out your tricep with that right arm, then reach behind you, reaching to bind your hands with your left arm. Those were pretty terrible directions. You're binding your hands behind your back with one elbow up and one down. Trying to roll your shoulders away from your ears here. And releasing that and switching sides. If you can't bind your hands, you can hold onto your shirt. That helped me get my bind. Pausing here for one more breath in. Exhale, releasing that stretch. Taking some shoulder rolls, just releasing that. And go back the other way. Turning to face the front of your mat if you're not facing that way. Making sure you have enough room to lie down. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, releasing down to the ground. Hugging your knees into your chest and rocking side to side. Releasing your feet down with your knees facing towards the sky. Put your hands on your thighs. We're just going to crunch up, bring your hands to our knees, and then come back down. We're just going to do about 10 of those, moving with your own breath. You guys are doing great. Having that like physical connection where you have to touch your knees with your hands really helps engage your abs and makes you crunch up a little higher. Let's do about 4 more. Releasing back down to the ground, bringing your feet hips width apart, really rolling your shoulders back and pressing your hips up to bridge. You can interlace your fingers behind you, rolling up onto your shoulders a little bit so the weight is taken out of your neck. We're going to hold here for 1 more deep breath in. 1 more deep breath out. Release back down to the ground. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Reach through and hold on to your left leg, pulling your legs towards you for reclined pigeon. Keep flexing that left foot to protect your knee. Releasing that foot back down to the ground, but keep your legs crossed. And then just let your legs come over towards the left, bringing that right foot down like it's walking on the floor. You can bring your arms out to a T and look over towards the right. This helps gently release the side of your hip and your back on the right side. Coming back up to center, uncrossing your legs and crossing them the other way so your left ankle is over your right thigh. Reaching through, binding your hands, pulling your legs towards you, flexing that left foot. You can rock side to side to massage your back on the ground. Then release your hands, keep your legs exactly how they are, just now your right foot is on the ground. And then bring your legs over towards the right so your left foot is like it's standing on the ground. Extend your arms to a T, maybe look over towards the left. Coming back up to center, releasing that. Straighten your legs up towards the sky, flexing your feet towards your face. Notice how much engagement it actually takes to hold them up. You're really engaging your legs and your core. Then start to point and flex your toes. Then take some ankle circles to one direction. Then switch directions. Bending your knees, grabbing onto the outside edges of your feet, coming into happy baby. Releasing your shoulders and your tailbone down to the ground. And then you can use those peace fingers again to grab onto your big toes, maybe straighten one or both legs. Then come back to happy baby, releasing your feet down to the ground with your feet together and your knees wide. Okay, bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your chest. Then pressing your hands into the tops of your thighs, trying to press your upper body away from your lower body, helping to lengthen your spine and expand that space in between your vertebrae. When you're ready, starting to extend your arms and your legs out on your mat, knowing that all your hard work is done here. All you have to do is relax in Shavasana. You're welcome to stay here for longer, but if you would like to wake up with me, start slowly deepening your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms over your head for one final full body stretch. Hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. Then roll over onto your right side. Coming up to center, sitting in a comfortable seat with your hands at heart center and your eyes closed. Thanking yourself for making this time for your mind and your body today. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. The light in my heart honors and cherishes the light inside of each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you all so much for coming to Yogalates. I hope you really liked it. I'm going to stop the recording now. So if any of you want to stay and talk, I would love to talk to you.